Deborah, what happened in court today?
Yes, Ger, well, the jury returned to courtroom 19 of the Central Criminal Court at 2 minutes past 12. We heard that they had reached a verdict after 20 hours and 2 minutes of deliberations. The jury found 29-year-old Aaron Brady of New Road, Crossmaglen in County Armagh guilty of the capital murder of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe, who was shot dead while on active duty at the Lordship Credit Union in Ballurgan in County Louth on January 25th, 2013. They reached that verdict by a majority of 11-1, we heard. Now, Aaron Brady claimed that he was laundering diesel at a yard in South Armagh the night that the detective was fatally shot, and he gave evidence in this trial. He took to the stand, but after these deliberations on the 122nd day of this trial and the 72nd day in the presence of the jury, this began back in January. They today returned a guilty verdict, and earlier this week they had found Aaron Brady guilty of participating in the robbery at Lordship, during which Detective Garda Donohoe was shot dead.
Callous murder that took place last Friday evening.
Several thousand people attended the state funeral at which the then Commissioner Martin Callanan vowed to bring the Detective Garda's killers to justice. Over 1,000 officers were assigned to the investigation, one of the largest in the history of the state. A manhunt for the raiders was underway, and soon afterwards Aaron Brady left the country and went to New York. He was the prime suspect for the murder, and in May 2017 he was deported from the US. In March 2018, he was charged at Dundalk District Court with the murder of Detective Garda Donohoe. The trial got underway in January this year, and it was the prosecution's case that Aaron Brady was the raider who shot Detective Garda Donohoe dead. They said he wore the shooting like a badge of honour when he moved to the US and believed he was beyond the reach of the long arm of the law. The jury heard from US-based witnesses Molly Staunton and Daniel Cahill. Miss Staunton said she heard the accused admit he shot a cop in Ireland and that he was the most feared man in Ireland. New York bartender Daniel Cahill said he heard Aaron Brady admit to killing a Garda on a number of occasions. Aaron Brady took the stand and told the jury he never admitted to killing the Detective Garda and was adamant he was at a diesel laundering yard on Concession Road in Armagh at the time of the raid and shooting. The prosecution said he was a skilled and practised liar. They said he knew he was pulling the trigger that night at a member of An Garda Síochána. Yes, well, Gardaí this evening say this is not the end of the investigation, that they will be relentless in their pursuit of everybody that was involved in the murder of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe, both the other suspects immediately involved and those that assisted them. They're asking anyone with information to contact them, that they will be dealt with in confidence. In the meantime, Aaron Brady faces a minimum of 40 years in jail when he's sentenced in October for the capital murder of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe.
Those two short clips is just a very, very small sample and snippets of what we, the Brady family, have had to endure from the mainstream media. And we wanted to show it primarily to, as we start this video, the concrete, or set in concrete, the case against Aaron, and the case that was always put to Aaron. Needs to be any deviation from it as we bring forward the new evidence we have found. So there is no ambiguity whatsoever in the prosecution case and the state's case that Aaron Brady is the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. Aaron Brady is the man who pulled the trigger. Aaron Brady is the raider who brutally murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. That is the case that was brought, and that is the case that Aaron was found guilty of. And we, as a family, have had to endure all these headlines for numerous years. Indeed, I think it would be fair to say it was much worse before the trial and before the campaign started. We went through all this here. We have shown it before, but we just want to, again, concrete everything as we move forward. Garda killer set to become a dad. US cops bust man who shot Adrian, and there's a picture of Aaron. Garda killer set to become a dad. Adrian murder suspects celebrates new baby. And through all this, we've had to look at this fucking nonsense here from our gutter journalists. Aaron was in jail, I think, for 3 years at this time, and he was linked to the ATM machines being stolen. So this is what we've had to endure. But getting back to the fact that Aaron Brady was the man that was named as the person who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. That is the starting point. And at the last little bit of the clip there, you heard mention of Daniel Cahill and Molly Staunton, people, two persons who came forward and said that Aaron had told them that he shot a cop. So again, taking their evidence, the baseline is Aaron is the man who pulled the trigger, Aaron is the man who shot the cop. Now, just before we move on, I do want to just, when we have the opportunity, to show that the scumbag that Daniel Cahill is, and we continue to see is. And he has been lauded and heralded by the media as the star witness. Not so much in this last 3 or 4 years when we highlighted exactly what he was. A liar and a drug dealer, and indeed we unearthed a situation where we can describe Daniel Cahill as a paedophile. And I'm just going to run this little clip through, and we'll see where the Irish media and indeed the Irish DPP and the state, the prosecution, are protecting this lowlife that is Daniel Cahill. And this happened as recently as most recent case against Aaron, the nonsense, the tendency to pervert the course of justice when Cahill was being protected by Lowenstein. So most of you will have seen those little clips before, but it's important to highlight Lowenstein's admiration for and willingness to stand up for the scumbag that is Daniel Cahill as we move forward to the new evidence we found. Again, I'm just going to show you another clip that highlights the farcical nature of this investigation. And these 4 dummies here before the camera on the day that Aaron was convicted tell us that they're going to come and get all the killers. Everyone is going to be rounded up, no stone left unturned, and that they knew who the killers were. Now, to date, Aaron Brady is the only one in jail. James Flynn and Brendan Traynor were acquitted, and rightly so. As I've said before, James Flynn's car and James Flynn was in the square on Crossmith Lane at the time of the Morton robbery. Brendan Traynor was at home in his house. All verified by CCTV footage and witness testimony. So let's listen to Assistant Commissioner Toomey.
Today's a day of mixed emotions following the conviction earlier on. I suppose our thoughts and our prayers with the family of Adrian, with his wife Caroline, and the extended family. And I want to take the opportunity here to thank the investigation team, the management standing here behind me, and the wider investigation team, who are still conducting, still working away. And I have a clear message that the investigation continues. There were other people involved in this horrific crime, and you will be brought to justice, and we will make every effort and leave no stone unturned. I want to make an appeal and reiterate and support what Chief Superintendent Mangan will say to you in the next couple of minutes. No society can tolerate crimes of this nature, and we as a law enforcement agency will do everything we can to work with the community to bring the perpetrators to justice.
No one else has been arrested. There is no gang. So as we stand at this point in time, Adrian Donohoe's memory has been, as we have said, desecrated by these people. And the likes of these people, the likes of Mark Phillips, Martin Beggy, who was supposedly Adrian Donohoe's friend and colleague. All these people have totally disrespected and desecrated the memory of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. Now, so we're under no illusion Aaron Brady is allegedly the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. So we have brought forward, when at the end of last year, 2024, when we got the CCTV footage of the actual moments Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe lost his life, we have brought you the CCTV footage. We have put the graphics and the lines on the CCTV footage, which are quite simple. We don't need any in-depth scientific equations. It's as simple as this. It's a photograph. There's the edge of the door, which we know was 56 inches, of the Garda car. The apex of the Garda car open is 56 inches. And the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe is head and shoulders above that. We believe the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe is 6'1" to possibly even 6'3". Now, to complement that, we have created these stills, which actually show that Aaron, who you can see here is 5'7", is smaller than the 4 raiders. So there's 3 photographs which I have here, and we've put them up here on alongside me, and they depict the fact that Aaron is smaller than the 4 raiders that attacked the 3 vehicles in Lordship Credit Union car park. I'm just going to play another little clip now. So this is sort of something we haven't done before, but it's just very, very short clip. And in it, it is self-explanatory. We play a line which shows us approximately the height of the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. Now, sitting in the passenger seat that day was Detective Garda Joe Ryan, whom we seen in the previous video, and I'll show you that clip again, at Adrian Donohoe's funeral. And when Detective Garda Joe Ryan exits the Garda vehicle, it's quite clear that at no time does he break the lane at the height of the man who shot and murdered his colleague. So just have a quick look. Let's have a quick look at this little clip. It's only a few seconds long. There we go. So it speaks for itself. No science needed there, really. Joe Ryan is smaller than the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. Here is a picture of Joe Ryan at Adrian Donohoe's funeral. And it's quite clear from that Joe Ryan is almost head and shoulders above some of the pallbearers there in that photograph. I'm not sure what height Joe Ryan is, let's say he's 5'11", 6 foot, I would suggest. Aaron Brady is 5'7". So what we want to do now is move to the new evidence that we have been sent in the recent weeks. Now, we have touched on it previously, but we just want to be sure that everyone is fully aware of what it is we're looking at here. So there's a main graphic that was created by An Garda Síochána under the direction of NCBI and these two gentlemen here, Detectives Brian Hanley and Detectives Mark Phillips. Now, Pat Murray may have had something. I'm not sure if Pat Murray would have the brains to do this, but I'm sure he may have had some input into it. But this graphic was created by An Garda Síochána with a lot of detail in it. There's several hundred words. Everything's broken down into each vehicle that was attacked. The information as to the vehicles arriving, vehicles leaving, where they were parked, who was in each vehicle, and what each of the witnesses seen. Now, we've just spoken to a data analyst this afternoon and just had a quick look at this graphic and then the 4 images that were created in association with this graphic here. And there's somewhere in the region of 150 to 200 man hours gone into creating this document. So it's a very intense document. Everything would have been checked, double checked and triple checked. All the statements were obviously taken by An Garda Síochána from the witnesses. And as we know from what we've shown you all before, the witnesses made a number of statements. So all the statements the individual witnesses made would have been cross-checked, cross-referenced, all the information taken from all those statements and put onto this graphic. So a lot of time and effort went into this piece of work here. And these are the 4 images that were created in relation to the 4 raiders. Now, as we have created here back last August, I think when we got this information on August last 2024, all the information on these graphics and these images from the CCTV footage match exactly to these 4 images. Exactly. So all the information, as we have said, has been cross-checked, triple-checked, and then presented as evidence, presented as forensic evidence created by Garda analysts under the direction of the incident room in Dundalk and under the direction of the NBCI, the highest ranking level of An Garda Síochána here in Ireland, by these 2 men here, Hanley and Phillips. So there's the 4 photographs. We'll just run through them quickly. The raider who broke Bernard McShane's window, well, you know he's 5'10", 5'11", Dublin accent, not Aaron Brady. The raider with the handgun is 5'7", 5'8", but he's bulky and strong, well built, not Aaron Brady. The raider that attacked Pat Bellew's car broke the window, and we've shown this in the graphic. Pat Bellew says raider was tall, definitely not small. And we've shown from the graphic the attack on Pat Bellew's car. We do estimate that this raider was at least 6 foot tall, not Aaron Brady. So now we're going to bring this picture up here. Again, everything we have shown you previously in these CCTV stills, in the actual CCTV footage from the moment Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe was fatally shot. Everyone has seen that. The very moment on the footage, the moment Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe lost his life. And this image was created from all that evidence and information that was correlated by An Garda Síochána. And as you can see, as we have said, and this is in Joe Ryan's statement and Mary Hanlon's statement, it's on the CCTV footage. The man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe is at least 6 foot, 6'1". From our calculations, an engineer's report on the CCTV footage, we believe he's even taller than that. Maybe 6'2", possibly reaching 6'3". Now, what we have to explain to you now, the Irish public, is I don't know whether it was Virgin Media, RTE, whoever it was at the beginning of this video, told us that the 120 days, 180 days in trial, 120 before the jury, all that information, over 1 million sheets of paper, 70,000 hours of CCTV footage, all that detail. And this photograph here, if that photograph was printed out, or image was printed out and passed round the jury. Now this is very simple. One sheet of paper was passed around the jury or put up on the screen as you see it here now. And the jury members are looking at Aaron Brady. The jury members have heard Joe Ryan tell us that the raider who shot his colleague was 6'1". The jury heard that. Michael O'Higgins asked Aaron Brady when Aaron was given evidence, Aaron Brady, were you ever 6'1"? And Aaron told the jury and told the court, no, I was never 6'1". This one sheet of paper, because of the work done into it, because of the supporting evidence from the CCTV footage, Joe Ray and Mary Hanlon, this one sheet of paper proves Aaron Brady did not shoot and murder Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. And if the jury had been presented this information, our son would now be at home here with us. So this picture that we've seen on numerous occasions, on numerous publications in our mainstream media, is a lie. All these photographs that have been put up by Virgin Media, News Talk, whoever, Crime World, this photograph is a lie. Now, if I make this alteration and we pop this up here, this photograph is now the truth. And at some stage, that truth will have to be realised by our judicial system. We're not going away, we're not stopping, we're going to continue to bring this information. I repeat again, this graphic, this image was created with hundreds of hours of man hours of the top Garda and analysts in An Garda Síochána. And this is the truth. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And obviously, those of you who are watching the campaign, if we go back, we'll say to August when we printed and released the CCTV footage, if that was wrong, we would have been shut down, closed down, I'd have been arrested, our family would have been arrested, and we'd be lambasted all over the gutter shit press that is in this country. I have given that to every journalist in Ireland, or mainstream media, and I've handed it out to journalists, Sheila Reynolds, all them people that are so-called freelance journalists in this country. And they'll all be getting a copy of this via their emails, and they're watching it now. So I would say to Paul Reynolds, Owen Reynolds, Robin Sheila, what is your answer to this photograph you see before you now? Because all of you have written columns in under the previous photograph. Can you write columns in relation to this photograph now that has been altered? And obviously we'll finish with DPP, Brendan Graham and Logan Steen. When you see this photograph, how can you justify what you have done to our son? And how can you justify what you've done to the man in the photograph? Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe. There is no justification. It is the framing of an innocent man to protect a pathetic judicial system. So this information, new information we've received, we're going to break it down, shorten it. You'll be seeing a lot of it in little short videos on all the platforms over the coming days as we move forward towards James Flynn's decision on James's release on Thursday the 10th of April. So please, we're begging you, if you see whatever platform you see this on, YouTube, Facebook, I know Instagram, TikTok, any of them things, please bang it out there and share it. But this picture is the truth. And our son and Adrian Donohoe deserve the truth.